Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Saturday. We are back. So, we've been gone for a couple of weeks here at the GTRC, but we are back and we have a whole new schedule coming for the next, leading right up into Christmas break, really. So, today we start our main series, I guess it is considered here, our GT3 GTRC Porsche Challenge Cup. So we are going to have a 1-hour endurance race here today at Kyoto Driving Park. We're going to do the Yamagiwa+Myabi full course circuit here for 1 hour. The drivers, and there's a lot of them, are going to be required to use the racing hard and that racing medium tire here today. So welcome in, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. It's race time. Let's go see what's happening. Alright. I'll just jump on Vorbitage here for a few moments. We have 6 minutes until qualifying starts. So you can see some of the drivers are just dialing in, running some laps, warming up, doing last minute any adjustments that they need to do to these Group 3 Porsches. This is a BOP tuned series. There's no tuning allowed as far as engine swaps or part swaps or anything like that. Brake bias is allowed in the series for these drivers, which is going to change things a little bit because that is does allow the drivers to potentially manage their tire wear a little better, which should give them more laps. But this is a big track. These Porsches are going to have to run wide open for quite a bit of this racetrack, and I think the fuel is going to be the major issue here today. It is 3 times tire wear and 3 times fuel for the series. Every time the drivers go around one lap around any one of the racetracks throughout the season, they will essentially be doing 3 laps worth of tires and fuel consumption every time they go around a racetrack. So it is going to make a mandatory pit stop here. There's no pit window. When the drivers choose to stop, is entirely up to them. And I believe, without 100% verification, that we have a Pro-Am multi-split kind of style season this season. So once we get some standings out after the first round here today, we'll have a little bit more of a better idea of who sits where and how we're going to operate our point standings for our Porsche Cup Series. So next week we come back in with a mini-series, a classic mini-series, but this time we're doing it a little bit differently. So this is a 9-week series for our Group 3 Porsches, and there's 1 drop round for these drivers. So out of the 9 weeks of racing, they have 1 week where if they can't make a race or they just have a terrible race, the worst race of their season will be automatically dropped off the point standings, and it will only be their 8 best counting rounds at the end of the season to determine who our championship drivers are. So next weekend we come into a mini-series. The mini-series, I'm not going to say what it is yet, it starts next weekend. And I am going to say it's going to be fun. You're definitely going to want to tune in. There's a tuning involved. It's a street car racing mini-series, but instead of having 2 mini-series running during the major series, we're going to have just a mini-series running in between. So 8-week series for our mini-series starting next weekend. And like I said, you're going to have to wait to find out what that mini-series is. Well, until next weekend when it goes live here at GT45 Gaming and the Gran Turismo Racing Community YouTube channels. So we're just chilling here. You can see Ash went in, tweaked a couple things on the race car. He's going to rip it back out around the track here. He's got about 3 minutes worth of testing, so it's about a lap. We're going to see 2-minute lap time, 2-minute 20, 2-minute 25, somewhere in there, I think on the average around here. Today in these RSR Porsche 911 Group 3 cars, beautiful race cars by the way, fantastic racing cars. So if you're a fan, you love to drive them, that's for sure. Me personally, I'm a fan, love to drive the Porsche. Alright, there we go, 5 minutes just to call from race control there. We got Key Tops on track, we got Hair Razor, our host of the series here, to get a little look at some of the drivers. We got Devlin, guys are just doing some work on the car in pit lane. We got Lone Ghost, I believe this is going to be Doug, Ash, my mistake. And a whole lot of guys sitting in pit lane just waiting for things to go here. Interesting. Alright. I believe we had 11 when I went live here. I think it's supposed to be fairly full, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Busy guy. Commentators got lots of work going on. Hard to keep up with it all. Alright, no, I'm kidding. There's 17 or 18 drivers registered full or qualified, I believe, for the Porsche Cup Series, so we should be expecting a full grid, but I do know that also not all the drivers are full-time either. There are just substitute positions, which means that they can't make some of the races during the season, so they haven't opted to take a full-time position. And of course, that's just how respectful the drivers are when it comes to these racing leagues. They don't want to take something from somebody that could potentially run the whole season, but if they can get in on the weeks they can make, then they'll definitely be on track putting on a show for everybody. So lots of love always rolling through all of our sim racing communities, no matter where it is we go. It seems like that's just, you know, it's all for the love. All right. So we're going to be about 3 minutes away from race start here by the sounds of it from race control. So let's go look at our actual drivers lineup here now. We've got Piggums sitting here, A+ driver as well. We all remember Piggums. He's well, he's the GT4 champion from last season, as a matter of fact. We have Doug Barrow in the lineup as well. We have Key Tops here for a season. We have Troan Kobe on track as a returning driver here as well. We've got Cloverman coming in. I believe this is going to be his first season. We have Hair Razor, of course, one of our officials here in the series, returning and hosting again this season. We have Supra back on track here as well this season. We've got Mike 1972 here back with us again. We've got Petrolhead returning here this season as well. Ash Motorsport coming in for, I believe, his first full-time season. We've got Type R here returning. We've got Devlin returning from last season, and we got Lone Ghost on track for this season, and we got Astro not checked in yet, but here as well. Yeah, don't forget to change the settings, Razor. You got it on 5-lap sprint at the moment. Alright, we are going to be underway shortly here, folks, and it looks like it's going to be 14 drivers on track here today, which is fantastic. Nice, juicy, full grid, nice, big, flowing, open racetrack. We should see some really good Porsche racing here this evening. This is a fun racetrack. It's an underused racetrack, so what we've tried to do here this season at the GTRC is we've really tried to throw some tracks out there that aren't used very often. This is one of those racetracks, so definitely love to see it. Why is that sitting up there? Scusies for a second, we just going to make an adjustment. We're not using the race banner this season, so we're just going to slip that down to the bottom corner so it's a little less visually distracting for everybody. There we go. Alright, so we're waiting for 2 more to check in, and I believe we're going to start qualifying, so... Who's not checked in yet? Alright. Alright, so here at the GTRC, like always, we don't use the actual in-game qualifying setting here. They just run in on a practice setting. The drivers will get, I believe it's 4 hot laps here today, which equates to a 10-minute qualifying run. So they're going to take their out lap, they're going to take 4 runs around the racetrack, and then we'll see all these drivers pull off on the outside of turn 1 and sit off the racetrack until all the drivers have completed their hot laps. So we should see, like I said, anywhere between the really fast guys, the elite style drivers. We could see potentially at 217s, maybe 216s. I'm just speculating. We could get that low in the lap times around here. For the average, 220 to 225, I figure. That's without knowing for sure. That's just speculating. So we'll see where we're at once these drivers start getting around. And like I said, I believe we're going to have some split with Pro and Pro-Am multi-class style racing here this season again as well. So we'll have to wait and see, of course, how that all shakes down once the standings drop after this week's racing is done. But it is Doug Burrow here in second. We got Keytops third out on track. Super came out fourth. Pigham's came out fifth. We've got Type R in sixth. We've got Ash out in seventh. Astro's out in eighth. We've got Petrol out in ninth. We've got Hare out in 10th. We've got Lone Ghost out here in 11th. We've got Cloverman out in 12th. We've got Devlin out 13th, and we've got Mike out last on track of qualifying. So some of the drivers opting to give themselves some space, some drivers opting to not give any space at all. And the slipstream doesn't really factor in, so, or it shouldn't factor in. It may factor in practice lobby, but in qualifying actual setting it doesn't actually factor in. So no point in really clustering yourself up, give yourself space. There's a lot of racetrack here. Alright, so let's see what Trone's got here from the Hummel Guys racing team. As, well, we're almost around here. We're just heading to what would be the short course to Myabi sector here. So instead of that wall being there right there that we see, that would be where the cutoff for the Myabi sector would be. And it's just a spicy, fun little course, actually. Oh, we got Trone one a little bit wide there, so Trone is just going to get out of the way. And he's going to get back on track in a convenient time there. And again, it's just the outlap, so that doesn't affect anything. Really, here he just needs a good final corner and a good exit, and he'll be good to go for his first hot lap. So I believe that's going to put Doug out in front here. And just a little mistake made there by Tro and Kobe going into the corner there. We should see some good slipstream driving here today. It's going to require some patience, I think, from our drivers. I think early on battling here on this track is really going to not be that helpful. I think that the drivers that just kind of stay cozy, stay in clean air, and just put in good, solid, consistent lap times here probably have one of the better chances of winning this race here today. It's a tough racetrack. A big mistake can cost you huge here. Tire wear at 3 times and the fuel at 3 times. Tire wear will factor in at some point, obviously, throughout the race, but I think fuel is the bigger issue. We're on lap 2 and we're already going to see a quarter of a tank of fuel used up by the time Doug gets to the end of this lap. So, I mean, we're going to be looking at like 6 lap stints at 2.5 minute laps, give or take. We're going to see potentially a little 2-stop races here just because of fuel. So the race pace is going to definitely, I think, change from qualifying pace here today. Again, this is just a track that's not used very often. It was a 2:19 there by Doug as he came across. Keytops actually came ahead in 2:18.1. Super's going to come around there in 3rd place. Trone comes out in 4th. We got Type R jumping up into 4th there. Super stays in 5th. Trone's dropping down there. Astro jumps up into 5th. Ash moving up into 2nd. That's where the movement was. We got Trone in 8th, Hair Razor's just coming around right now. There we go. Again, live timing not corrected. It's making it difficult. Hair Razor jumps up into 4th. We got Cloverman here in 10th. These drivers are a little more spread out here, so we can hopefully get these guys going across for their first hot laps. Right now it's Petrolhead on pole position here as he's jumped ahead of Keytops here as well. And it's going to be 7th for Clover. We got Lone Ghost coming across here. He's going to jump up into 10th. Devlin coming around. He's going to jump up into 8th. We got Mike here. He's just coming around the final corner there right now. That looked like a nice corner too as well. And then we got Pigham's there last but not least in 14th. So he might have maybe bottled his lap. That puts him up into 7th. He definitely made a mistake there. He had a 2:27 lap, and that's definitely not the pace of the Pigham's that we know, that's for sure. So, mistake on his first lap there. But again, 3 laps to get it right here. So, Petrolhead with the 2:17.911. And I did say that 17s, possibly 16s could be possible here out of speculation. It doesn't look like I'm too far off on that. So, and he's got 0.2 of a second right now currently on Keytops in 2nd place chasing. And then where did Doug fall to? Doug dropped down all the way into 5th there. So it's going to be Doug and Keytops again that'll come across first here. At 219.024 there from Doug Barrow as well, so nice lap. But you can see Keytops continues to just sit right on the back bumper there, so let's see where these two come across at as they come across the start-finish line here for lap 2. And Doug Barrow is going to jump up into third, and Keytops is going to stay in second. It is an improvement though, a 218.025 from Key. And our now third place driver Doug with a 218.339. So where is... We got a nice little group of drivers here. We got Ash, I believe we got Trone, and I think that's Supra? Type R. That's Type R. Ooh, and a huge lag spike right there. Hopefully that didn't affect any of the drivers' qualifying laps here. And a nice tidy little transition of position between Type R and Ash there. So great job on those two, not to even remotely affect their qualifying times there. It didn't look like it anyways. And good little battle we've got going on here. Not battle, but good close quarter driving here between these three. Battle. We're not racing yet. It looks like they're racing, doesn't it? We got Hair Racer here in 6th. Type R's in 7th. We got Mike. We got Devlin. Astro's in 11th, Super's in 12th, Lowen's in 13th, and Piggums has yet to lock in a lap here. Interesting. Potentially just burning off fuel. I think he's playing some strategy here. I don't know. It seems a little off where he just hasn't had the time to practice for this race maybe, but definitely off pace for Piggums. Petrohead still in pole. First lap he put down, still holding out on top there. We got Keytops here. He improved on his first lap by about a little over a tenth. We got Doug there just up ahead of him. He improved on his last lap by quite a bit, but you can see those tires are wearing down quite heavily, and we're just on lap 4, so that should be any indication of what we're going to see here today. It's going to be an interesting race. Oof. We got Trone just checking to make sure he's safe to get back on track there after a mishap there out of one of the big sweeping corners. Lowen right there, he's about mid-sector. This looks like a much better lap here from Piggums. It's a 217.836 there. That's not right because he took pole position. No, it is right. 217.836 coming from Piggums. So there it is. Feeling, I think he was burning some fuel off in those first 2 laps and then saving his tires, conserving his race car for qualifying. So some smart driving right there, I think, by Piggums. And I thought he was just doing something along those lines. And I mean, he hasn't made a pit stop or anything, so he is looking good as always. We got Petro here in 2nd place now. Keytops in 3rd now. Doug Sill in 4th place. We have Cloverman up into 5th. Ash in 6th. We've got Hair Razor in 7th. Type R in 8th. Mike in 9th. Devlin in 10th place here. And unfortunate there for that penalty. We got Trone here in 11th. We've got Astro in 12th. We've got Super in 13th. And Alone goes here in 14th position. Alright, Piggums is purple on that lap right now as well. We've got Petrolhead here in 2nd. Oh boy, that was unfortunate there, and that's gonna squash a qualifying lap. He just got it in a little tight there, and then it just made a little bit of contact there with Tron. That's unfortunate. Alright, so here he comes. Keytops ripping through here. It's a 218.483, so not an improvement there. Ooh, Got Doug pulling off. We got Key pulling off. Who is still flying? We got Pigum still flying. We're going to try and find that lead car. Oh, it was Key. There we go. Astro just came through there. 2:20 was his best lap. Looks like that's Hair Razor, I believe, coming through next. And it's a 2:18.799 from Hair Razor, so it is enough to put him up ahead of Ash Motorsport. All right, who do we have running here? Pigums is through. Pigums with a 2:17.466, so almost 0.4 of a second improvement on his fastest lap. Petrol with a 2:17.9. We've got Keytops with a 2:18.0. We have Doug with a 2:18.3. We've got Cloverman with a 2:18.5. Hair Razor with a 2:18.8. We have Ash with a 2:18.8 as well. We got Type R with a 2:19.1. We got Super with a 2:19.3. We've got Mike rolling right now. Best is a 2:19.4, and this will be his final hot lap here. And it looks like it was a decent exit out of that final corner, so let's see what he puts down here. And it was an improvement there for sure. 2:19.132, and that's going to be good enough for 7th place for Mike there as well. Devlin in 9th. Oh, we got some drivers in pit lane, so that's going to change the timing here. Alright, so we are going to start a 1-hour race. That was just qualifying. That was just a little look. It looks like the drivers look pretty comfortable here around the racetrack as well. So now it's going to get interesting because, again, the racing hard and the racing medium tires are required here in the race today. And it's going to be interesting to see because I would assume that a large part of the pack is going to start on that racing hard tire. So we have a 2-minute window here. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. And then he went and moved. Alright, just a lineup of beautiful Group 3 2017 Porsche 911 RSR racing cars, and all 14 of these drivers are going to send it around Kyoto Driving Park Yamagiwa+Myabi. So the full course here for one long, grueling, very fast hour. Now, if qualifying is any indication of what we're going to see in the race time, the drivers are going to get a maximum of 6-7 laps on their fuel and their tires, and they're going to have to pit. The race should be roughly around 26 laps, I figure, maybe 25 laps. So if we do the math on that, that's going to be a 2-stop, maybe even a 3-stop race for some of these drivers. So it's going to be... strategy is definitely going to be key here today. Being patient, saving as much of that race car as possible. Obviously using slipstream is going to be of an advantage here today. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic of how each racer attacks this racetrack here now today. Again, we have a multi-class split. We've got Pro-Am drivers on the grid here today. So same car, same hardware, same machinery, and same settings. The only difference really that separates the two classes are the drivers behind the wheel and their pace around the racetracks. So it's going to be fun racing. We'll end up with about 2 packs, I figure, here by lap 3 or 4, and it should be 2 packs of really good racing. So welcome in, everybody. We are about a minute away from start time here. There's a bunch of great looking cars though, you know? Great looking cars. We'll try to get some good racing shots of these cars as the camera crew does their magic here. Alright, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go. Beautiful little transition right there. Kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Let's go racing. Porsche Challenge Season 1, Round 1 starts when the green flag drops. We got 5 reds. These drivers got to watch it. It's a false start. We're green, we're green, we're green. The light is on, the flag is down, and the drivers are off. And here we go. And it's Pigham's in the early lead, but Petrolhead up the inside here coming into this first right-hander. He has that position on the starting grid, and he is going to jump up into the lead of this race here, up in front of Pigham's again. It's going to be interesting to see how all these drivers opt to handle this race. Keytop's in 3rd place here. We got Doug in 4th. We got Cloverman looking up the inside there. Doug going up through the S's, and woo, he gets the job done. No, he does not. He just tucks in front of Razor there. So we got 2 cars that look the same. That's going to be fun. Hair Racer here at 6th. We've got Mike in 7th place. We got Ash battling with Type R here for 8th and 9th position right now. And then we got Astro tucked right in behind Ash there as well. And Type R is going to get the position here for the time being. So can see some early jockeying for position here. And now Astro trying to get the move done there as well. We got Devlin. Supra. We got Devlin and Astro in behind battling. Devlin takes a look there up the inside of Supra as he goes really wide into that corner and is side-by-side racing action, but Supra just edges Devlin out. Ooh, Devlin comes back with a cutback move on the inside, and this is a beautiful battle between these 2 drivers here right now. And we got Ash Motorsport also battling up just in front of them with Type R as well, and it looks like Ash Motorsport's going to get the job done there. For what, 8th place? Look at this, 6 cars, 3 wide coming out of the corner, throwing Kobe in the back of this. 3 wide as we go around the sweeper. Looks like one got a little bit of contact there, but he's still fighting, still battling on the outside, hanging in there. And it's Ash Motorsport leading the way here in this absolutely chaotic mid-pack battle that's happening here very early on in this race right now as these drivers try to sort themselves out. We got Astro at 10th, Type R in 11th. We got Devlin right there at 12th, side by side with Type R on the outside of this corner. Ooh, Type R is going to get the job done for the time being. Devlin is going to settle back into line here in 12th place. Tron Kobe sitting right there in 13th, and Lone Ghost right there in the backside of this pack too. So I mean, the bottom 8 drivers all fiercely battling for position on this first lap. That was a great race start right there. Ooh, it looks like it's just going to be a great season. If that's just a little taste of what we got already happening this season. We got Michael coming in with that like. We got David coming in with the like as well. We got Roll Moments coming in with the follow in the off stream as well. Welcome to the Winner Circle community. Stay winning, my man. We appreciate that support. Doug Barrow here in 3rd place. We got Cloverman in 4th. We've got Hair Razor here in 5th. We've got Pigham's in 6th place. We got Mike here in 7th. We got Supra in 8th. Devlin battling with Ash here for 9th, and Type R and Supra as well battling there for 10th and 11th in behind. So, ooh, 11th to 12th. This is great battling right here. Devlin trying to defend 9th place right now. We got a very active battle here as we're going to go 3 wide around the corner, and Devlin's in the middle of this Porsche sandwich. And look at these drivers just handling this with absolute precision as they come around these track at 125 miles an hour out of that exit. And they're all still going. This is some great racing right here. Get back to that backpack. Come on, cameraman. We got Super here in 8th place. He's broken free a little bit. So now it's Devlin, Type R, Astro, and I believe Ash right there in behind in 12th. So the driver's racing hard here very early on as we got Devlin just got Type R sitting there tucked right in underneath the wing in behind in that white and yellow cat Porsche. That's a beautiful livery, by the way. And some great battling happening here right now. Ooh, let's go see what's happening behind these guys. We got Astro in 11th, we got Ash in 12th, we got Lone Ghost in 13th, and Drone in 14th position here. And ooh, he made a mistake there. Some heavy damage on the front splitter of that Porsche, and that's unfortunate there, but this is a long race. Hey, we appreciate you, Adam. We appreciate you, my guy. A long race, folks. We got lots to happen here yet. So it's Petrolhead with the early lead. We've seen him jump ahead of Pigham's very early on in the race there. Keytops has moved up into 2nd place. That has Doug chasing here in 3rd. Cloverman showing incredible pace here to start this race here in 4th place, but he's got Hair Razor tucked right in behind in 5th place as well. And then we got Pigham's, our pole sitter, sitting in 6th. I know this driver. He's cool, he's calm, he's collected. This is a part of his plan right now. Mike here in 7th place, Supra here in 8th, we've got Devlin in 9th, we've got Type R here in 10th, we've got Astro in 11th place, we got Ash here in 12th, and a great battling in that backpack at the beginning of this race. That was incredible, and not an incident between the cars there. We have seen some great racing this week, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen, as broadcaster? Love race weeks like this, I gotta tell you. Petrolhead, though, very early on in the lead of this race, and he is 224.044. So that's fastest lap on the racetrack right now. I suspect that's probably going to change this time around with these drivers. And it's 218.32, 218 flat right there from Keytops as he steals that away from Petrol on the way around. So Keytops reeling Petrol in a little bit here. Doug with a 218.5, so he's a little off the pace of the front two runners. And a battle here for position as Hair Razor goes in. Oh, we're going to have to see that again. That was a beautiful move. And oh, both those drivers go wide there as they head up into the S's. But let's go check that out again. Up the straightaway, coming across start-finish line to start lap 3. Hair Razor goes up the inside and absolutely sends it around Cloverman here. Textbook passing here at Kyoto Driving Park by Hair Razor, and he's going to move himself up a position due to that great pass on Cloverman. So Doug and Hair Razor 3rd and 4th. We've got Cloverman here in 5th. We've got Piggums here in 6th. We got Mike here in 7th. We got Supra in 8th, and he is tucked right in behind here, Mike. So Supra has been reeling the pack in here as he's collectively been going around the racetracks. Type R here in 9th place. 3.5 seconds to Supra, that front pack. A little bit of contact there between Type R and Devlin as they're battling, and just incidental contact, no harm, no foul there. The two drivers continue on down the road, so battle on. We've got Astro here in 11th. We've got Ash Motorsport here in 12th, and now maybe just settling into his race plan here a little bit. He's settled down on the battling. We know this driver's quick, so again, this might be another one of those drivers that just has his plan and he's kind of sticking to his strategy here, and we'll see how it progresses as we go through the season. I really do think we're going to see a minimum 2-stop strategy here out of the majority of our field today due to the size of the racetrack and the fact that these drivers have to run these Porsches on the high end of their RPM range. It's just going to gobble up the fuel. So we're definitely going to, I think we're seeing 2-stop strategies here today, maybe even 3 for some of our drivers, but I don't think a 1-stop strategy, if they can do it, I don't know if it's going to be enough to win a race. It might be, the pace might be too slow. So it is Keytops and Petrol headed. I mean, Keytops hasn't let Petrol go anywhere. He's like, where are you going, mate? You are not running away. This battle is going to go all race long. Doug Barrow here in 3rd place. He's doing a great job of pacing as well. 2 seconds. He's been kind of keeping the gap right about there. He hasn't really let those guys get away. Hair Razor here in 4th place. He's just in behind by about 2.5 seconds as well. And he still has Cloverman hot on his heels here. 1 second is that gap. So Hair Razor has opened up the gap enough just to break slipstream. And that's important here on this racetrack especially. You want to be in the slip, but you don't want to be giving slip to the guy chasing you. We got Piggums here, our pole sitter, and he's currently sitting in 6th position and about 3 seconds in behind Cloverman right now. And, well, we'll see how the strategies start to play. We have drivers on different tire compounds. That's going to change how the race unfolds as well. We got Mike here in 7th place. He's slowly but surely starting to reel Piggums in here bit by bit. And Supra here in 8th place, kind of just coming in behind here as well. So I do suspect we're going to see an attempt change for position here from Mike on Piggums, as Mike does technically have a tire advantage here on Piggums right now. We would think that he should be able to eventually make his way around Piggums. Piggums is a smart racer as well. So I think when that time comes, I don't know if Piggums is really going to hard defend that too much. I think that is too early in the race for this driver really to start playing that game yet. Again, Piggums is a very calculated racer. He is our GT4 championship champion from last season, so he definitely knows what he's doing out on the racetrack, without a question of a doubt. Without a question of a doubt. All right, so Super here in 8th place, and these drivers are just really playing nice here right now, and I kind of maybe suspected that we'd see Mike really start to gain on Piggums here in these sweeping corners, but it seems like Piggums is maintaining a really good pace on that hard racing tire here right now. We have Type R here, he's in 9th place, and he's still got Devlin hot on his heels here in 10th, and some great early on battling between these drivers to sort out their positions, and now everybody seems to be settled into their races here. So we got Astro in 11th and Ash still tucked right in behind here in 12th place. And this can work to these drivers' advantages if they can actually use the slipstreaming and bump drafting to their advantage here. They can start to pull in on those drivers up in front. I think that's exactly what we're seeing here from Ash and Astro right now. Maybe they feel like they're similarly, a little bit of lag there, I think, from Ash. You've seen him back out there. He's a little unsure where that Porsche was in front of him. Definitely a little spike right there. That's just good racing awareness. That's a sign of a good racer, an experienced racer here on the Gran Turismo 7 platform. So this is a guy to look out for at the end of the race, I'm telling you. We have Lone Ghost here at 13th. Nice to see him here for the season as well. Givener, this is one of our drivers that's been working hard and learning in behind the scenes here over the last set of seasons, and he's out here competing full swing now. He's ever so slowly but surely continues to improve on his pace and his racecraft, and he's right there. He's nipping at the back of this pack here, so might not see much to the driver chasing the pack right now, but when we compare to where I remember seeing him from a year ago, it's a massive improvement for him, and just keep going. We love to see it, and that's what it's all about. The organized racing, the league racing that with hosted groups like the Gran Turismo racing community in this case, it really does provide exactly that. It provides a learning environment, and as opposed to provide a safe environment as well for the drivers to feel comfortable, to learn, to be okay to make those mistakes, get frustrated and have the community be there, be like, that's okay, you know, we're here to pick you up, man, we'll help you figure it out, you know, that's what it's all about. And then that relates to the drivers coming back and running the organized league series events and stuff with these groups, and it continues to keep the fire hot in the belly, because they see the improvement. They're battling for position all of a sudden this season, and then maybe near the end of that season you're battling for mid-pack position all of a sudden, and then that really excites you, so you get in the off season before the next season gets dropped, and you're really working hard because you want to try and get a little more pace, because you want to start challenging for podium, and then that's what it's all about. And that's what we see here. We see a lot of improvement from a lot of these drivers from one season to the next, and Lone Ghost is one of those drivers. So GG's to him. He's putting in a ton of hard work, and it'll pay off. It will pay off for him. Key Tops here in second place. We got Doug in third. I mean, these are no strangers here to the GTRC. Familiar faces. Hair Razor here as well. Cloverman, and not such a familiar face, but definitely a quick driver. And it's love to see him here. So he's just cruising right now. A lot of these drivers have kind of settled into the rhythm here now. We have Piggums in 6th place. He's still got Mike tucked right in behind there in 7th. Ooh, Supra makes a mistake there. Oops. And let's see if we can catch that before I bottle up everything. Oh, we just missed it. So making a mistake on corner entry there. The car definitely got around hard into the wall there. Tire wear maybe factoring in a little bit there. You can see him throw his 4-way flashers onto where it just warned the drivers. Yeah, tough hit there from Supra, but I believe the damage model's on light, so that damage will disappear in 30 seconds. So the drivers basically lose that advantage of aerodynamic force, I guess, for 30 seconds in a sense. You got to drive the car a little gingerly, plus of course the dirty tire factor. So that's about a minute of tough driving there for that driver before the car starts to kind of feel properly again. So tough hit there for Supra. We've got Key Tops there in second. We've got Doug in third. A little bit of a slide as he comes down the hill there. There's some bumps when you come down the hill there, so you get really wide on the track exit right there. It can unsettle the race car sometimes, and I think that's what we've seen right there out of Doug. He just got into that bumpy part of the racetrack there, and with the tire wear, it kind of give him a little rear end slide in that Porsche. We got Clover here in 5th. We got Piggums in 6th, and he's just chilling, man. He's doing this thing right now. Mike's doing much of the same thing in behind Piggums here right now as well. He's just moving and grooving and doing his thing. We're on lap 6, and we can definitely tell which drivers are and aren't saving fuel right now. And it seems like for the most part, everybody's on a much different style strategy here now than we've seen in qualifying. We're going to want 46 minutes in. We may see one stops. Maybe we will see one stops. Interesting. So Astro here now in 10th. We got Ash in 11th. That puts Lone Ghost now up into 12th position. We have Devlin down into 13th there, and looks like he's made a pit stop. We've got Trone here in 14th position right now, just 8 seconds off. So interesting strategies I see happening here. It looks like the drivers are going to try and stretch one stops out of this, but I think it's going to be difficult. I do. And again, both racing compounds are required, the hard and that medium tire required here in the series this season. Well, for this race. I don't know if it's for the whole season, but definitely for this race. So all the drivers that started on the medium tire are going to have to opt to move on to that harder tire. So we'll have to see how that relates at the end of the race. We like to call that the what is that, the Hamilton strategy? Just going to check on the stream real quick here. Making sure everything is just working properly. Looks like everything's doing good here so far. Hey, what's up, Bar? Yeah, no, I agree with you, Bar. High tire wear track for sure. Hope you're doing good, my dude. Alright, so it is Petrolhead in the lead here right now. 3.5 second gap on Keytops here in second place. He's got 3.2 seconds on Doug Burrow in third. He's got 3 seconds on Hair Razor here in fourth position. From there, it's Cloverman in fifth. Pigham's here in sixth position. We've got Mike 1972 here in seventh. We've got Type R here in eighth, and there we go, a little battle between him and Supra. So Supra opting to try and get the job done here now. Maybe he feels like he's got more pace. He's going to take a really wide entry there to try and get a good run on that outside edge of the racetrack. And does he get it done? He does. That was a great move right there by Supra on Type R. He took it on the outside there. Type R didn't leave an easy way around, and Supra made full advantage of what he had going on there. Set it up and executed beautifully. Hey, appreciate you, Adam. Appreciate you, my guy. We got Ash here in 11th. He is chasing Astro right now in 10th position here as well. And a little bit of lag coming from Astro here and there, and that makes it a little bit difficult for a driver to try and judge exactly when to make a move. But I don't think Ash is in any big hurry right now at this point in the race. We've got Lone Ghost in 12th position. Trone is sitting in 13th for the time being, and Devlin here in 14th. I mean, it's too hard to say, really, who's going to win this race at this point in the race. We have drivers on different tire compounds. We have to play the pit stop yet. And as we say that, we got Petrolhead coming into pit lane. So what does Keytops do? Keytops decides to stay out, so that's going to be a race lead here for Keytops, and it'll be our third race leader here this evening. So afternoon or morning, I guess, depending where it is you're hanging out from today. But Keytops now is going to be our third race leader of the day. That leaves Doug up into second place. He's opted to go around. Hair Razor's going around. Cloverman has stayed to go around. So is Pigham's. So is Mike. We have Petrol comes out in 7th position here. So maybe an alternate strategy coming from this driver. It's going to be interesting to see what he does here. We got Type R in 8th position. We've got Super coming in for a pit stop here. He's got 42% fuel, but those tires are definitely worse for wear. That puts him into 10th as Ash goes ahead. Astro now moves up into 10th place as well. So Ash has actually gotten around Astro here and moved himself up in position. So let's see how if Ash can quickly lose Astro here. I suspect Ash should have pace on Astro, but I could be wrong. We have Supra here in 11th position. We have Trone now up into 12th, and Devlin moves up into 13th. We got Ghost coming in now for some tires and some VP racing fuel. Alright, there we go. So pit stops kind of starting. Some two stops for sure happening here on the racetrack, and it still looks like we have that select group of drivers trying to push out a one stop here. So let's see how that plays out. Alright, we got Doug Barrow here in 2nd position. We got Hair Razor in 3rd. We've got Pigham's now up into 4th place, and Mike is still right there in tow. He is chilling. He is just happy to chill in behind Pigham's and follow him around the racetrack here right now. Cloverman. Battling with Petrolhead there. And I was just waiting to see what was happening there. There was a little bit of squiggling going on there. It was a little hard to tell what was happening there. I think it's a controller driver up in front of Petrolhead there, potentially. I do see the odd flash of the headlights every once in a while around the corners, which is a pretty good telltale sign that it is a controller driver here in the series as opposed to a wheel and pedal set. So there is a few different ways that we can play the game. If you're a new viewer and you're just tuning in, you're wondering what it is, we are playing on Gran Turismo 7. That is on the PlayStation 4 and 5 platform. And there's a couple different ways that you can play this game on the PlayStation. You can do it, of course, with your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 controller. You can go buy a entry-level steering wheel and pedal set, say like a Logitech G29 or something like that. And of course, you can race it that way. Or now we have the PlayStation VR2 for the PlayStation 5 as well. Now, it still requires a controller or a wheel pedal set to use, but you are only allowed to drive a cockpit view, and you have to look to see everything. So 3 different ways that we have drivers competing against each other in these organized events, league racing series here at the GTRC right now, and it definitely makes for some interesting driving styles and strategies, and it definitely makes every driver have to really assess that person's driving style based on what it is that they're driving with, and figure out how it is that they're going to attack and defend that driver in both situations. But Keytop's looking comfortable. 13 seconds up the road right now. Doug went into pit lane there, so that puts Mike up into second. He's just decided to go up the inside of Pigham's here finally. So Mike and Pigham swap positions here. Second place for Mike. Pigham's here in third, but again, calm, cool, collected as Pigham's. You never count him out of any race he's entered in. So potentially looking like he's in a good position to maybe bring a race win here. We've got Petrol in 4th place. We've got Doug here in 5th. We've got Type R in 6th place. We have Hair Razor here in 7th. We've got Ash in 8th. We've got Astro here in 9th position. We've got Clover in 10th. Supra up the inside of Clover there, and ooh, big wiggle on the way out there, and we're side by side. And again, Supra trying to do it the hard way, trying to get him on the outside of the corner here, and we're still side by side as we head into this hairpin here. Oh, yes, this hairpin's next. And we're still, side by side, but it looks like Supra edged out Cloverman there. So some hard racing right there between our 9th and 10th place driver, Astro. No, Supra and Cloverman. The cars look so close to the same, I keep getting them confused. And of course, Supra coming out there for the time being out in 10th place. So Cloverman settling in 11th there, so that puts Devlin here in 12th, controlling, chasing, and closing in there in 13th, and Lone Ghost here in 14th position. So pit stops are brewing and the sequences are starting, but we still got some drivers really looking like they're going to go for this one-stop strategy here. Got Mike coming into pit lane here. We've got Pigham's coming into pit lane here as well. All right. Some undercuts coming here. We got Doug in 5th. We've got Type R in 6th. We've got Hair in 7th. We've got Ash right there in 8th position. We've got Astro in 9th. We've got Supra closing in on Astro here in 10th. And again, these cars are very close to the same livery on these cars. So you can see why you get it mixed up on a glance here. Alright, so 9th and 10th place there, and Supra has been working hard here at trying to rip through the field here. He goes up the inside of Astro, but Astro has to run and manages to actually tuck in front of Supra there. So there we go, those two battling hard for position. Supra engaged again, looking for another position here, and ooh, he really eats up some of that corner, and that's going to cost him. I thought that was going to cost him there, and he's going to cost him that position to Clover as well, as he's still trying to get that car underneath of him there. And now with that front aero and suspension damage, he's going to be under fire from our 12th place driver here, Devlin, as well. As he's going to have a hard time navigating that really high speed corner without that full bite to that front splitter. So you can see Devlin just reeled him right in right there. Closes right in on the back trunk of this Porsche 911 RSR. And, well, not able to get the position, however. Is he going to go for the cutback move? We've seen this move before from Devlin, and unfortunately they're just a little ill-timed, and again just giving a little tap there to Supra, so just not quite able to execute at that time there, but he is definitely engaged, and there is battle on here between our 12th and 11th and 12th place drivers, Supra and Devlin. There's some great racing between these two. He's got that classic Lotus Elise livery on his cars all the time. I love that. Love it. Alright, Keytop's in the lead here, and he's still got another 7 minutes to go if he really wants to stretch this into a one-stop. And we can see him coming into pit lane here, so I don't know if the one-stop is doable here with the tires. We'll have to see. If it was, I would have expected to see the hard tire runners go like 35 minutes maybe on those hard tires before pitting, but that's not actually what we're seeing. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out here. Petrol's going to take the race lead back, of course, with Keytop's in pit lane there, so he will retain the race lead back here, and that is our third lead change of the evening, and the second time that Petrolhead has led the race here today. Keytop's comes back out about 3.7 seconds in behind there, so about where he was before the pit stop sequence started. Doug's still back in 3rd place here, so he stayed where he was as well. Oh, was that a big mistake there? We've seen this from Doug. He keeps it underneath of him, but definitely went a little bit deep on the track and almost lost that car from underneath of him there. I put Type R in 4th place, so he hasn't pit yet. So he is going to at some point have to make a pit stop, which will give Hair Razor back 4th place here. I'm not sure if Hair Razor's aware of that or not, but I can't imagine this driver staying out too much longer here. So if you're going to get around him, you got to do it quickly here. And you can see Pigham's right there in 6th place, really closing in. So I think Pigham's is going to gain a position here out of the pit stop sequence by the looks of it. And let's see if Hair Razor takes a look here going into the corner. No, he's just settled in, but boy oh boy, Piggums is closed right up. Ooh, a little bit of a contact, or maybe just a little slide there from Hair Razor. It doesn't look like there was contact there. I think he just got a little early on the throttle and feeling the pressure from Piggums up in behind there. And again, just getting these tires up to temperature here as well. You see Type R actually pulled away a little bit there with that little slide from Hair Razor there. So let's see if Piggums tries to get it on the outside here. You can see him really sticking it in that middle line right now. He's gaining as he tucks it back into the inner line to try and get the big exit here, and he's going to go up. Yep, he is going to try and make the move done here. It looked like that's what he was setting up, but unfortunately for Piggums, he's going to be stuck on the inside, and he is up in behind Type R there, and he's going to have to help him through the corner a little bit there, as that did not quite work out in Piggums' favor, but good for Type R as he gets the position kept on the Hair Razor, but Piggums does manage to make his way through there, so that was a beauty. Let's go take one more look at that. I mean, Piggums made the move there, and a car right there in front. He gave him a little help to get through the corner there, so he could continue his charge around Hair Razor and still manages to get the job done. So that was a big move there by Piggums, and of course Type R beneficiary with a little help there from the push from Piggums through the corner as well. Now Piggums is strapped in behind Type R here, and he's got the same position happening as Hair Razor just had a second ago. Now Hair Razor's the one applying the pressure, and Piggums is the one trying to get his way around Type R here, and he looks like he's trying to set up the same style of move here, but he can't quite get it. Slingshot engaged. We're going to either see him go up the inside here. He's going to use up all that slipstream he can here right now, utilize as much of that run and up the inside. So here we go. Piggums going up the inside of Type R, going to look to grab that position there. Does move himself up to 4th place, and Hair Razor does follow Piggums through there as well into 5th place. So Type R losing 2 spots there, but again, those two drivers on a huge tire advantage right now. So GG's to Type R for holding them off as long as he did, and that could cost those two drivers in the long run of this race being caught up behind Type R there for that extra lap. So we got Mike here in 7th, we got Ash here in 8th, we've got Clover in 9th, we got Supra here in 10th position, Devlin here in 12th, with Astro chasing him behind here in 12th, and the lag seems to be getting a little bit worse as the race progresses here for that driver. We've got Trone here in 13th, and Lone Ghost in 14th position here. Might be able to go the rest of the distance though on this race, maybe. It's hard to say. We'll see. He pit quite early though. But it is Petrolhead still leading the way here, and the 5.5 seconds to key tops is that distance. So we're noting this because these drivers started on the medium tire. We got Doug here in 3rd place. He's also started on the medium tire. Now we've got Piggums here in 4th place, who is the driver who started on the medium tire, now charging back up the field on the tire advantage. So it's 15 seconds right now to Petrolhead is Gap, our race leader, and it's 6.7 seconds to Doug up ahead here. So he should be about 1.5 seconds faster on those medium tires, give or take, per lap. If we do the math on that, that's going to be about 8 laps, and he'll have Petrolhead caught up. But will those medium tires last that long for him to maintain that pace to catch up to that race leader on the hard racing tire is the bigger question. Doug's in 3rd, 3.2 seconds, and really it's just gap management, but you can see already that the gap's dropping. He's under 6 seconds here from Piggums to Doug, and Hair Razor's now losing touch with Piggums there as well. We got Mike here in 6th place. He has Type R closing in here in 7th place as well, so potential battle starting to brew here between these two. We got Ash now starting to close in here in 8th place, so he has yet to stop. Interesting. We got Clover here in 9th. We've got Supra all up in his business here in 10th place. And Clover's just cool, calm, collected, man. He just parks that Porsche up on the apex, and he's like, that's fine. You want to make the move, you can go ahead and take it on the outside. And he is going defensive here. He stayed on that semi-defensive line and decided he was going to make Supra make his decision on that. And Supra's going to take that wide line around. And it's not a terrible line here around here. If you can get that car to stay out there and hook up, he might be able to hold out there. And he just can't quite get it done. Of course, Cloverman has that shorter distance around the racetrack there and manages to hold off the charge from Supra. So some good defensive driving coming right there from Cloverman. We got Astro in 10th, Type R here in 11th. We got Devlin in pit lane, Trone coming into pit lane, and Lone Ghost getting through those final couple S's here, heading in towards the start lap 13 for himself, I believe there. But it is Petrol, and he looks good here. 5 seconds, and kind of sitting steady. Key Tops is slowly but surely leaking a little bit of time here and there off of our race leader, but not enough really to make that charge yet. We got Doug, he's right there. He's kind of starting to close in on Key Tops here a little bit, but look who it is off in the background is Pigham's here in 4th place. So he is closing in. It's 3.3 seconds now, the gap from Pigham's to Doug. It was just under 6 last time through the field, so in about 3/4 of a lap, we've seen Pigham's open up a lot of time on Doug here. We've got Hairraiser in 5th, we've got Mike in 6th, we've got Ash in 7th, we've got Clover in 8th. Supra here in 9th with Astro in 10th. Type R here in 11th place after making a pit stop. Devlin's in 12th and Trone's in 13th. Both those drivers just making a pit stop there as well. And Lone Ghost here in 14th position and only 9 seconds off Trone here currently. So the pack is right there. Alright, Petrohead looking good here, 5.1 seconds. He's done a good job at really managing this gap here to Key Tops. I mean, you look up in your rearview mirror and you don't see anything. That's a good feeling as race leader right now. You know you've got a little bit of space, you got a little bit of room. Maybe he could save a little fuel right now and just manage that gap. Maybe you can take it easy on those racing tires a little bit. He's chilling right now with a 5-second gap. That's a pretty healthy gap for the race leader here. We've got Key Tops, and the same thing for Key Tops here. It's 4.2 seconds. You look in behind, there's nothing there. Nothing to worry about in behind. The focus is trying to catch that driver 5 seconds up the road in front of you. Doug here in 3rd place, and it's not quite the same thing for him. He sees a white Porsche off in the distance here as he comes down the hill into this very hard left-hand corner here. It's a really hard apexing corner. It's like a 200-degree corner, and you can see that white Porsche Pigham's is just a-coming here off in the background. Ooh, and a half-second track limit penalty there for Pigham's. That's not going to help the charge trying to catch up to 3rd place driver Doug here, but again, he's just going to continue. Nothing you can do about it. Race control slapped down that half-second, so he'll be forced to serve that at the electronic enforcement penalty serving zone, and that's those 2 yellow lines we see in one spot of every racetrack that slows these drivers down. So what happens is there's a wire buried underneath the racetrack at that point. All the cars have a transponder unit, and that unit, it tells, well, race control a lot of things. It tells them their position on track, tells them their speed, tells them their sector times over certain special times. But what that also does is when they go over that PSF, penalty serving zone, PSZ, sorry, it cuts the power down to the car automatically, and for a set amount of time, the drivers will not be able to gain speed. So that may actually mean that the drivers will need to knock down a gear to maintain their RPM. So when that when their power turns back on and they have control of the power in their engine again, they can continue on the road, hopefully, ideally, without losing too much time. So that half-second penalty is definitely going to cost Pigham's, but it's not gonna break them here right now with still 27 minutes left in the race. But it's definitely going to hurt the charge, and we're going through that penalty serving zone right there, and you can see just a quick little slow down there out of that car as the engine power gets cut out and he continues his charge. But he's going to lose some time here because Doug coming to the corner at full speed, where Pigham's had to gain that speed back from serving that penalty. So that was really unfortunate there for Pigham's in 4th place as he continues to charge the podium. We have Hairraiser here in 5th. He's 8.5 seconds in behind Pigham's. Mike slowly but surely seems to be closing in on Hairraiser here. Only 2.4 seconds separate 5th and 6th place on the racetrack currently. Cloverman here, I don't know much about this driver right now. And again, he's fairly new to me anyways. So a controller driver there, as you can see the headlights flashing as he's coming around the corner. That's a telltale sign, but he's doing a great job here currently right now in 7th place. And he's still holding off Supra here in 8th place as well. So just noted, he's also doing that on the racing hard tire. So Cloverman, GG's to him. He's racing hard here right now against Supra, but Supra is on some very worn medium racing tires there right now, and at some point here he's just going to make a pit stop shortly anyways. So I don't know if it's worth battling at this point here, because we're probably going to see Supra come in at the end of this lap if I really did have to guess, as we're just entering the Myabi sector of the racetrack here right now in a sense. So Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out. Big slide there by Clover as he comes out of the exit there, and again, Super just I don't think he has the tire underneath of him right now to really make a proper charge on this driver. So I think he's just trying to stay nice and close and let this driver help him pull him down the racetrack. But I would still suspect that a wore out racing medium tire will still essentially be more faster than a racing hard tire, but I could be wrong. He's got a pretty wore out front right tire here, and he opts not to go into pit lanes. So. We're at the backside of the racetrack, that's why. Never mind. Wrong pit lane. That's the pit lane for the Myabi layout. I do suspect we'll be seeing him pitting this time around. So, Petrolhead, how's he doing here? His tires look good. His fuel, I don't know if he's got the fuel to go the whole distance there, but Keytops is closing in 4.1 seconds now, so he's gained a second on Petrol up in front. Doug Burrow's lost a little bit of time here to Keytops up in front, but he is battling right now with Piggums. So Piggums is closed in. There's a car link separating the two drivers right now as we head into turn 1 here on the Yamagiwa part of this layout. And lots of high-speed sweeping corners here on this racetrack. Lots of elevation changes, lots of little dips and undulations in the corners, lots of little bumps on the exits. So you really got to watch your P's and Q's at the speed these drivers are going around. I mean, we're at 150 miles an hour as we head up the hill here, and that's no joke. That's fast. It's a rush. It's a rush, and you can see Piggums there with the tire advantage. Just sticks it on the outside there. Doug did everything he possibly could there to hold that charge off. He stuck it on the apex, protected the shorter line around the corner, but Piggums just had that tire advantage and just stuck it on the outside, got the job done, moved himself up into P3. Now it's 5.5 seconds to Keytops in second place. Hairraiser here in fifth, and it's 10 seconds to his teammate up in front there, Doug, 10.5 seconds. We have 7 seconds between him and Mike. Some of these drivers are in no man land, so really just put your head down. Ooh! Supra made a big mistake there. Definitely got a wiggle. Type R's in 8th place, Ashes in 9th, and Supra's going to fall down to 10th place here. So he was putting some pressure on Mike 1972 there, but that tire wear really starting to show on that racing Porsche with those wore out medium tires. Oh, he's on some fresh hards here. Okay, he just made a pit stop. That's what's happening. He's on some cold tires here, so makes sense. That makes sense. Definitely a little bit dicey here though today. Alright, so it is Petrolhead charging. He is moving and grooving. We've got Keytops here in second place. We've got Piggums now in third. We've got Doug Barrow there in fourth. We've got Hairraiser here in fifth place. We've got Mike in sixth. We've got Clover in 7th. We've got Type R here in 8th. We've got Ash in 9th. He is trying to close in on Type R here to grab another position before this race ends. We still got 22 minutes left. Still lots of racing to happen here. I put Super here in 10th. He's still right on the back end of these guys even after that mishap there, the self-induced incident on the racetrack. We have Devlin in 11th. We've got Trone in 12th. We've got Astro in 13th and Lone here in 14th position. So it is Petrolhead right now, and 5.2 seconds is that gap to Keytops. 2.7 seconds is the gap from Keytops to Piggums, so Piggums is charging. And Piggums really needs to get his work done now, because if there is going to be another series of pit stops, I'm assuming that every one of these drivers now that have cleared their tire mandates are going to go back onto the faster compounded tire. And it's going to be very hard at that point to gain a 5-second gap on your opponent when your opponent is just as fast as you are. So Piggums trying to take advantage of his tire advantage right now. I think he's more than aware that he has a tire advantage on these drivers, and he's really starting to push this race car right now. He doesn't have fastest lap. Fastest lap still belongs to Petrol, the 2:17.8, but he is definitely pushing here now, and it's only 7.6 seconds to the leader. It was 15 when that transition of pit stops stopped, so he has cut the lead in half since that pit stop sequence. But Petrolhead and Keytops have done a great job at managing the gap to the field in behind, but boy, Piggums is coming now. And Keytops is a target, and it's under 2 seconds. So by the end of this lap, we may see even a battle or a position change there already. We have Mike here in 6th, Clover in 7th. We got Type R still battling here with Ash and Supra for 8th, 9th, and 10th position. and Ash just not quite able to slot in around Type R here, and he's just going to settle back in. Supra's just chilling in behind here right now, watching it all unfold, just continuing to make sure he stays up and try to take advantage of both these drivers if they start battling potentially. But it looked like Supra tried to get something done there on Ash on the inside, but he just couldn't quite make it happen. We got Nolander up there in the house. How you doing, my guy, with that like on the stream? But Type R holding strong here in 9th place, and Ash definitely trying to get that position. You can see he's working. He's trying to find his way around here, but Type R is a good defensive driver. He is very hard to get around, and he's going to make you take it on the outside unless he makes a mistake. So, oh, and he opens up the inside of the corner, and still we talk about making that mistake, and there it was. Ash is going to tuck that Porsche up the inside. He was waiting for that, and that's exactly what happened. But now Type R has the inside coming into this like 220-degree right-hand double apex corner, so it's going to be real hard for Ash to get the job done there. So Ash took advantage of what looked like to be a mistake, but I think that was all the plan there from Type R. That was some great racing right there between these two, and definitely battle is active here for 8th, 9th, and 10th position. Let's head down through our field here. We got Devlin in 11th. We've got Trone slowly but surely closing in here in 12th place. We got Astro in 13th, and we got Lone Ghost. 3-second pit lane penalty there. That's unfortunate. In 14th position here, but still putting in his paces. So it is Petrolhead. 19 minutes left on the clock, just a little bit over. He is not going to have the fuel to continue the rest of the way. He is most certainly going to have to pit again. So I guess the biggest question is when does he opt to pit? Because we have Keytops here in second, and oh, there we go. Piggums has decided to pit now, so undercut here for Piggums. And 26 seconds is that gap, so let's just remember that here. It's 26 seconds. He went for an undercut strategy. He comes back out in 3rd place. I assume that Doug had gone in behind him as well, and that is definitely the right assumption to make there. So Doug has pit in behind Piggums as well. So we have Cloverman here in 6th. So that 2-stop strategy starting to come into factor here, and I wasn't too far off at the beginning of the stream suspecting we were going to be seeing 2-stop strategies here today without really knowing for sure what the fuel and tires were going to do in these cars. But it is Petrolhead, and I mean, he's holding strong. He is holding very strong here right now. He's managed that 5-second gap to Keytops this whole second stint, and I guess it's just when are we going to see the second set of pit stops continue up front, and does the undercut strategy from Piggums work as planned? He was a boss on that second stint, absolutely grinding down these drivers up front. So let's see, here we go, Petrolhead coming into pit lane right now. Are we going to see Keytops do much of the same thing? Yes. All right, let's stay on board with our race leader here as he gets that pit stop done. Let's see this team in action, shall we? Here we go. The car stopped. It's on the jacks. Tires come off. Look at that. Boom. That was a quick stop. 3-second tire change, and the fuel is going in. How much fuel is he going to take? It's 8 liters per second here in the series. And it looks like he's going to take about 70% fuel there, 85% fuel as he comes out. And, ooh, there's Piggums. He comes out just ahead of Piggums, and there's Keytop slotting out just in behind Piggums. So battle on. Undercut almost effective there, but that gains Piggums 4 seconds on that race leader right there. And he is in the fight now. And it is going to come down to driver skill here. Same hardware, same tires. 1 set scrubbed in, 2 sets are not. Let's go. Battle for top 3 is definitely happening here now. Got Doug here in 4th place. He's got 8 seconds in behind those 3. He's really going to have to push to make something happen there. We've got Clover in 5th. We've got Hairraiser in 6th. We've got Mike here in 7th. Trone in... Ooh, skipping a few drivers. Ash here in 8th. We've got Type R in 9th. We've got Supra here in 10th. So Ash has finally found his way around Type R after a very good battle there and opened up the gap very quickly. So definitely had the pace on that driver, just could not get around that driver. Trone Kobe here in 11th. Devlin chasing here in 12th. So Trone has found his way around. We got Astro here in 13th position and Lone Ghost in 14th position. So it is Petrolhead, and you can see this is going to be a battle to the end for the top 3 positions in this race. We have 16 minutes left. The final pit stops made. The drivers have fuel, they have the tire. It's going to come down to which one of these 3 drivers is the fastest around this racetrack here for the next 15 minutes and 54, 3, 2, 1 seconds. Pigham's pushing. Keytop's pushing. Got undercut by Pigham's there, dropping a position out of that pit stop sequence. And boy, Pigham's a great undercut there. 4 seconds gained on Petrolhead out of that pit stop sequence. So in the fight, Doug here in 4th place, 8.3 seconds losing time on that front pack. We have Hair Razor here in 5th, and he's got 12 seconds there, but he has Cloverman closing in. But should be a tire advantage there. Oh, and there we go. We've lost Astro, so a disconnect there, I believe, from Astro. And I did say that his legs seem to be getting worse and worse as the race progressed. So that seemed to be a correct assumption. So position gain here for the drivers that were in behind. And there we go, Pigham's and Petrol here. Ooh, battle side by side. And ooh, we're marking that because we are going to go look at that again, chat. We just want to see what's going to happen here coming into the first corner. We are going to see that response from Petrol here. So let's take a look. Inside versus outside. Keytops is just sitting there in behind, watching it all happen. Front row seat, and it's a response here by Petrol. So Pigham's going to move back down into 2nd place. And oh boy, we have a fight. And here we go, race on. Petrolhead in the lead, Pigham's chasing. Keytop sitting there, right there in behind 3rd place, just in the slipstream, just watching, just waiting, seeing what's going to happen. He's coming in with that like. Ghost Viper Gaming coming in with that like. How's it going, my guy? Legends, Deladia. Got Cloverman coming into pit lane, but boy, Petrolhead is in a fight for his life right now. He had this race under control all race long. Let's go take a look at that initial move there by Pigham's coming out of the final corner. Just gets clear of Petrol, and then Petrol comes in with a huge response, taking P1 back up into the first corner. So that was a great battle right there between these two drivers, and I highly doubt that is the last of this battle we're going to see here between these three before the end of this race. It's what dreams are made of. Battle for the checkered flag. That's what we love to see. Oh, you can't join back into the room. You're going to create lag spikes, my guy. Alright, we got Petrolhead here in 1st place. We've got Pigham's here in 2nd, still chasing. He took a huge run out of that corner, really shortened his exit out of that corner to try and get the run down the straight here. Let's see if he's going to try and catch up under braking here. He does gain a little time under braking there, but Keytops is 100% right back in this fight here. And 1, 2, 3 separated by a second. 1 second from 1st to 3rd place here right now. From the nose of 1st place to the tail of 3rd place, we got ourselves a healthy little battle here. We're going to stick with this without a question of a doubt right now. We're keeping our eye on that track radar, but this is where the action is at 100%. Oh, and Pigham's gets it wrong coming out of the corner. He's off the track here. That's going to give Keytops 2nd place. Yeah, Pigham's got to settle back into 3rd. And oh boy, he's going to have some dirty tires here. And a very small mistake there by Pigham's, but has huge implications with only 12, just under 13 minutes remaining. Now he's got to work hard here to catch up to those two up in front. He was in a good position battling for the lead there and just made a small mistake, and boy, that's racing, folks. That's all it takes. So he's going to settle down into 3rd place, and he's got a little bit of work to do here. He's just outside of that slipstream as well, so he's got some tough racing here to catch up to that pack. Doug is right there too, 8 seconds off. He hasn't really been able to gain a whole lot there, but he hasn't lost any either. We got Hair Razor in 5th with Mike chasing in 6th. That leaves Ash now up into 7th place and Supra up into 8th. So Supra has also made his way around Type R here as well. Type R dropping down a couple spots over the last 3 laps here, down to 9th place. Cloverman making a pit stop, come back out in 10th. He has Trone Kobe chasing in 11th. And Devlin was right there on the tail of Trone, but losing a little bit of pace to Trone there now. And Lone Ghost in 13th. And of course, Astro car behind the wall due to mechanical failure, and retired for the race here today. So 217.551, fastest lap on the racetrack, and that is by our current race leader, Petrolhead. So you can see that mistake cost Pigham's a little bit there. He's a little bit off the pace of these drivers here now, and he's working really hard at trying to catch up, but boy, that was a great battle there for a bit. I don't think this is over yet. Just wait. These drivers will find a way. They always seem to. We got 4th place Doug Barrow and 5th place Hair Razor here. Team Rad teammates here. You know, if they could just link up, they might actually be able to work really good together to potentially push, but they're out of time. They're out of time. If they were going to do it, they needed to be doing it by now. We got Lewis coming in with that like and that share. How you doing, Lewis, my guy? We appreciate you, my man. Got Super here in 8th position as well. We've got Type R here in 9th. Type R starting to gain back on Super here, so this may be battle rejuvenated as well. We got Clover in 10th here. We've got a couple of pit stops here. Looks like, I'm not sure what that was. Fresh tires, maybe some splash of fuels. Not sure, but there we go. We're getting the blue flag here on Lone Ghost. So I believe that was Doug Barrow there, just gaining our 4th place driver, pardon me. So let's check the battle here. 1 second to gap between Petrol and Key. Doing a good job. Big slide right there. That's going to allow Keytops to gain a little bit of time. You see that time coming down right there. He lost a tenth just with that slide out of that corner. And boy, when the battling is this close up front with the drivers this closely paced, every little mistake costs you. And Piggums is 2.1 seconds. He needs to get into that slipstream here. He's got to find a really fast lap here around this racetrack to try and pull back in on these drivers, or hope they start battling and he can just game based off the pace and that. The fact that the battling is slowing those two down by maybe a half second or something like that around the racetrack. Hair Razor and Doug here in 4th and 5th place. Team Rad representatives. We got Mike here in 6th. He's been having a good, consistent, patient, calm race all race long. Good start to his season. Ash here, he's been working hard. He's got himself up into 7th place. Supra, he's been battling hard all race long here as well. He's got himself up into 8th. Type R, he's been battling hard. Sitting strong here in 9th place. Cloverman, oh, gets it a little bit wrong there just as we pop over to him coming around that left-hander, and just gathers that car back up and keeps it on down the road. That's going to allow Trone to gain a little bit of time here, but pretty big gap. So a lot of the drivers now are just settled into their paces at this point and just running that clock down to take that checkered flag. But boy, this battle for the lead, is it done? Is it not done? It's starting to get dark out on the racetrack. The track's going to start to cool down. That might factor in a little bit. The driver's now got to make that adjustment for the track temperatures and the cooling conditions. The car is going to potentially tighten up a little bit here now as it gets cooler as well. So the driver's got to make that adjustment here now as they're going. But right now they are locked in. They are 100% focused on the task at hand as Petrolhead is just keeping Keytops out of that slipstream, and Piggums has not been able to reel these two drivers back in since that little mistake he made, just a little 2-second off-track excursion there, and he has been chasing those two drivers back down since. But 1.6 seconds here, he's giving it everything he's got. He is not gonna go home wimping, that's for sure. He's gonna send this thing and just see what he can do here before the end of the race. We got Doug in 4th place, gap's 9.9 seconds, losing pace to the front runners here. Hair Razor here in 5th place as well. He's doing pretty good there as well in 5th place. He's got a 5-second gap to Mike 1972 here in 6th. Ash Motorsport in 7th place, and a lot of these drivers are just they're moving and grooving at this point. Don't want to make that mistake, don't want to leave that big gap dissipate. Blue flags being waved there to Lone, as I think he has, I'm not sure who it is on him, but boy, what a great sight this is. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Nose to tail about 3 seconds apart from each other here right now, so it is definitely battle on. Piggums is working hard back there. He's a driver in the toughest position here currently right now out of these 3 drivers, because he's just out of that slipstream pace, and it makes it very difficult to catch up to 2 drivers that are in that slipstream distance from each other, because it essentially pulls those 2 cars away from the 3rd place driver a little bit quicker. So Piggums is working hard here, but he's just not quite able to find the time he needs to get back on these guys. Again, equally paced drivers, very hard to find time. And Doug's just holding strong here in 4th place right now. Hair Razor and Mike's gonna send it on the outside. Yes, sir. That might have been Lone. Yeah, it was Lone. I thought that was Hair Razor. My bad. That was the blue flag situation we've seen just a minute ago. So Hair Razor's up a little distance up the track there, 5 seconds. I thought that was actually a battle between the 2 there. Ash here in 7th place. We got Supra here in 8th. We've got Type R in 9th. We got some beautiful purple lights there as the drivers are coming around the corner. We've got 11th place Trone, Devlin here in 12th. You can see how dark it is in some parts of this racetrack. It is quite dark on the racetrack there. We got Devlin actually off track a little bit there. And Lone Ghost here in 13th. So headlights are full in swing here now, as we're going to finish the race in the dark here, and with 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, it is still Petrolhead holding off the charge of Piggums and Keytops. Keytops is 1.9 seconds in behind. Piggums is 2 seconds in behind, just not able to close the gap. Got Doug here in 4th place. We've got Hair Razor in 5th. We've got Mike in 6th. Ash in 7th. Supra in 8th. Type R here in 9th. Rounding out our top 10 is Cloverman. We have Trone here in 11th. Devlin in 12th. And Lone Ghost in 13th position. So, boy, this has been one mistake. We've seen it already happen. Piggums just got it a little bit wrong. Got a little bit wide off track and lost a position and a couple seconds time. off the battle for the lead. So that's all it's going to take for one of these other two drivers to have much of the same result here. But Keytops has been looking very strong all race long, and so is Petrol. Very, very few mistakes made by these top three drivers here so far today, and the biggest one being made by Piggums, and that's why he's now in third position for the time being here. 5 minutes and 4 seconds remaining as Doug comes across the start-finish line there. That purple hue as they come across in the dark. We've got Hair Razor here in 5th. We've got Mike in 6th. That looks like it might have been Lone Ghost just tucked in behind him there. We got Ash here in 7th. And again, just everybody chilling. Type R and Supra are close together here. Type R has about 3 seconds on Supra, so we could see a potential last lap battle maybe there if Supra can close up that gap, but 3 seconds is still a fair sized gap to close up, and we can see that as our leader Petrohead continuing to open the gap up a little bit here on Keytops, has it up to 1.4, and Keytops doing much of the same to Piggums here, has that up to 1.7. So there is a 1 lap tire advantage from the first and second place driver to the third place driver as well, but that shouldn't matter with the amount of time that they're running on this last set of tires, I wouldn't think. We have Mike here in 6th, we have Ash in 7th, we've got Type R in 8th as he comes across through the purple start finish line. We got Super here in 9th, we've got Clover in 10th position, we've got Drone here in 11th, we've got Devlin in 12th, and we've got Lone Ghost in 13th position, and Astro in behind pit wall, D and F here today. Alright, so Keytops cut in 0.2 of a second here on Petrolhead through that last couple of sectors, and you can see it's still coming down here. So Keytops has got a good run here in this part of the racetrack right now, currently on the race leader, and Piggums is still chasing there in third place. So let's jump on board with Keytops here, a second place driver with about 4 minutes remaining here. And let's stick with these three right now. This is definitely where the biggest potential last minute moment could happen here, I think. So we're going to want to stay with this. You can see Key, he's open, he's really closing in here. I think he has decided that he's good to go, and it's time to send this thing here. A big slide right there in the front end from Petrol, and he got under the power there, and Petrol pushing hard here. 1 second gap he opened that up to, but boy, Keytops is really doing a good job at trying to close Petrolhead in here. And Piggums, no immediate pressure right there. You can see the cars back there, but he's not blaring, blinding those headlights in the rearview mirrors. So Key's focus is most certainly on P1 up in front here right now. You can see him really pushing this car. He's really got this Porsche out right in through the rev limiter here right now. He is really trying to gain every bit of horsepower out of this car right now in this charge to catch Petrolhead. We're going to see one more lap after these guys come across the start finish line here. We're only midway around the racetrack here, so this will be our white flag lap, or our second last lap of the race essentially here, pardon me. So these guys, they're running out of time. If they're going to make something happen, it's going to have to happen now. Piggums is starting to lose pace here a little bit on those two up in front. We have Doug here in 4th. And you can see it's getting awfully dark on the racetrack here, depending on what part of the racetrack you're on, depending on how dark it really is. You know, where in the mountain cover, I guess, essentially you are, as you're coming across start-finish line here in 8th place. You can see Supra has closed up the Type R quite a bit here, so we may see a battle there as well before the race is over. Alright, so our race leader, Petro here, and he's got his hands full. He's got his hands full with Keytops here right now. Whoa, big slide right there. Big slide on exit of that corner right there, and that's going to be what Keytops needed. That's what Keytops was waiting for. Some way to get on the back bumper of that leader. Boy, oh boy, a very miscued mistake right there by Petrolhead, and that has allowed our second place driver really to close in. And there we go. Is it going to be side by side? Here as we go in. No, Petrolhead's still going to hold a position. 0.4 of a second separating our race leader and second place driver as we come to start our final lap. White flag right now one lap showdown, first and second place. Is it going to be Petrolhead? Is it going to be Keytops? Keytops going to take a look up the inside. Petrolhead is not. He's going to close that door. He's going to be like, not today, mate. Got to do better than that. So here we go, turn one. Advantage Petrolhead moving into the S's. Keytops gets it wrong. He goes out into the grass, and that is going to end that battle. And oh boy, that is a massive hit right there for Keytops. And Pigham's coming up track here. And Keytops does a great job of getting out of the way. That was a massive hit there for Keytops, and that is really unfortunate. He just got it wrong. Pigham's going to move back up into second place. And that is going to be, barring anything drastic happens here, a race win for Petrolhead. And really unfortunate there, because that was really gearing up to be one juicy battle to the race finish there. Doug in 4th place. We got Hair Racer in 5th. We got Mike in 6th. We got Ash in 7th. Here we go. It's Type R and Supra 8th and 9th place. We still have a very active battle right here. And this is going to be the last lap for these drivers as they come around here. So we will stick with 8th and 9th place here as they're going to take the checkered flag when they come around the start-finish line here, as the timer is going to run out. Big push here by Super. Can he get the drag race down? It is a drag race. He's going to try to use the slipstream, and it is going to be Type R. He's going to lock in 8th place finish here. Super going to literally finish right on his rear bumper, and that's a P9 finish there for Super. Great racing by those two drivers. Very actively battling all race long. We've got Trone coming around. It's going to be a top 10 here for Trone in the first round of Porsche Challenge this season. So that's a good job there by Trone Kobe. Cloverman taking a P11 here. Devlin's going to come around here in 12th position, and Lone Ghost here will round out in 13th as well. And then we're going to get back to those crazy race leaders and go see what's happening up there. We haven't seen any changes for position yet, and that's going to be 12th there for Devlin as he comes across. All right, Petrolhead's got 10 seconds here. He's chilling. I mean, the team's already communicated with him. He's bringing it home now, and it is going to be a round 1 victory for VTX Petrolhead here, and that was a great run from our second fastest qualifier here today. Pigham's and Keytops, nose to tail. Here we go, but it is going to be Pigham's to take second place here, and Keytops will just finish right in behind there in 3rd place. Doug Burrow's coming around here. He's going to take a 4th place finish for himself as well, and he is a dead right tire, front tire on that race car. Hair Racer's coming around. His tire has just a little tiny bit of tread left on it, but it's going to be enough to get him home here in 5th place to start his season as well. So good run by Doug and Hair Racer. We got Mike coming home here in 6th place, just in behind as well. So another great race finish there for Mike, and Ash Motorsports could be our last driver to take that waving checkered flag here today in 7th position. So, ooh, that was some interesting racing, and I can't wait to hear what our top 3 drivers are going to have to say here today. That was shaping up to be one intense battle there at the end, but boy, you know, pressure and racing and things happen, and wow, it just unfortunately never came to full fruition there today. But if this is any inclination of what the rest of this Porsche Challenge Series is going to be like this season, I think we're in for a pretty outstanding season. Not all our drivers were here this week either, so there is a lot of fast drivers lined up in this lobby here this season. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what next round in 2 weeks' time has in store for everybody. But ooh, GG's everybody. That was some good racing. But it is Petrolhead. He's up 1 position from qualifying, and he is going to take that race victory home here today. So that was a great job there from Petrolhead. Let's go take a look at those results here. So it is Petrolhead with the race win. It's going to be Pigham's there in 2nd place. Keytops in 3rd, but Keytops going to take fastest lap home with a 2:17.220. Doug Barrow's going to come home in 4th. We have Hair Razor in 5th, Mike in 6th. Ash Motorsports going to come home in 7th place with Type R in 8th. 9th place will be Supra. It's going to be Trone Kobe in 10th, Cloverman in 11th, Devlin finishing out in 12th, Lone Ghost in 13th, and Astro with DNF due to disconnection in 14th position. So unfortunate there for Astro, but you know, that's racing. That's the way things go sometimes. So let's flip it. Boom! Interviews. So we're just going to sit tight. We're going to give the drivers a chance to come to the booth if they have time, of course, to come talk with us. If not, hey, it's all good. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the first Porsche race of the season here? I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a really good, clean action. I mean, that race start was fantastic. We had that six-way battle in the back half of the pack. It's super clean, tight, hard racing. We had that very huge developing battle for the race lead there for a while. Some intense racing right there. We see some great passing going on here. I don't think we had a single car-on-car incident here on the race today either, which for the first round of a brand new season is fantastic. That was great racing by all 14 of our drivers here today. I really do have to say that was a great race start to our Porsche Challenge season, and I can't wait to see what's going to start happening here as the season progresses. So again, we are going to start seeing some tracks that we're not used to seeing so much. Not sure where Dwight Trone's here. Where's the roster? That might help. Alright, we got Petro, we got Trone, we got Key. I gotta look at the results here just a second, chat. Because I don't know where Trone actually finished in his division. Pro. Type R finished first in AM. Trone would be second in AM by the looks of it. Alright. I just had to, get the skinny here. Good race, guys. Congrats to all the podium guys. Good racing out there, Doug. Alright, let's go. We usually don't catch Pigums very often. I think he has a race, usually in the afternoon as well. Alright. Let's go have a word with our second place driver. Yes, second place driver, Trone Kobe from the Hummel Guys Racing. Well done today. Of course, first round of Porsche Cup racing here. Lots of familiar faces, though, again, on the grid. But, again, another multi-class style of racing here. So you got pros and pro-am drivers in the same machinery, but different classes of drivers. So, why don't you tell us how your race went today?
Not very good from the start. I was very upset the way my car was behaving. I lost like 15 seconds by the time that was done in the early stages. My car would not cooperate. I was quite surprised that I ended up in second place. I got into pace.
Yeah, well, it's a tough racetrack. It's one that's not raced very often. It's a very high speed circuit with a lot of corners in it, and then it comes into some very difficult low speed corner sectors as well. So the Porsches can get a little bit spicy, of course, under these conditions, especially on those harder racing tires. So obviously, with having the two tire mandatory this season with the hard and the medium tire in race one here, I mean, how much work do you got to put in? Those racing hard tires are very slippery tire to drive on. So do you put a lot of focus in on that tire that's a little harder to control, or do you put more of your focus in on that tire that feels more comfortable?
For this particular track, I worked with the hardest, particular control of it. I knew the mediums was gonna out very quick here because that front passenger side was awful on the mediums, so I had to put out my practice for the hards.
Absolutely, and good racing out there. I mean, let's talk about the start of the race for a second. We have everybody gets off, and the back seven drivers just absolutely clustered up, battling, going three wide, two wide, around a lot of these high speed corners, and nobody bumping into each other. So obviously, lots of preparation was put into the race this weekend. I mean, how much fun was it out there racing door to door like that, and feeling comfortable that you can race that hard and not have contact with your fellow opponents?
It felt pretty good. Too bad I couldn't stay with them, and my car had to spin out, but it was pretty good. I was hoping to stay up with them, and maybe if I would stayed up with them, I could have had first, but I'll take home a second.
Absolutely. I mean, I would take home a second place, especially on a season start, round one. So it is a 9 round series here at Porsche Challenge for those of us that are watching at home and wondering. So within those 9 rounds, the drivers will have one drop round, which means their worst round out of the 9 weeks of racing will just get eliminated from their point standings for every driver mandatory. And it'll be based off their best 8 rounds of racing. So with that in mind too, as well, I mean, how do you approach a season when you know that you have a drop round coming into play at the end of the season?
I'm just putting in a lot of practice. That's all I can say. I don't think there's a track in the season that I'm weak against. So whatever that weakest track is, just my chop around.
You come in nice and strong, and have some good racing as always. So I mean, I guess any final remarks and any shout outs and thank yous you want to toss out there to the viewers?
Yeah. Thank you for all the fans that's watching. Thanks guys for all the commentary, and thanks for all the races that came out to play today. Congratulations to Type R. I'll get you next week. So just prepare for that.
Absolutely, and talk about a driver who had some hard battles today. We're gonna go talk to that driver right away, folks. But congratulations on a good start to your season for second place, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Tyrone Kobe, our second place AM division driver here at our race today, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're going to move up to our first place AM driver here in the race today, and that was Type R, that yellow and white cat Porsche on the racetrack. And boy, oh boy, this driver was involved today. That was some tough racing out there for you today, but all worth it, bringing home that first place for the AM division today.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can, we can.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah, it was a tough race today. I had some good racing with Devlin. Also had some good racing with Ash as well, and some great racing with Supra too. And I just stuck to my plan. I had a plan before the race what I was going to do, and I just thought I'd just stick to it.
Absolutely, and at some point, it's got to feel good being that Pro-Am driver, and you really did, like you said, you had some great battles with example Supra there. Supra is a pro-tier driver here in the series, and you had some really, really great battles with that driver, especially in that last 15-20 minutes of the race here. So, how does that build on your confidence as a racer, knowing that you can keep up with some of these pro drivers as well?
Yeah, it does help your confidence a lot. It's like I always watch to see how far behind I am. Like especially when we're practicing, I check Doug's times and I'm make sure every race I try and get as near to him as possible, time wise. So
Absolutely. Well, I mean, showing incredible pace out there. This is a fun racetrack, in my opinion. It's a great flowing racetrack if you understand the flow of the racetrack, and you definitely look good out there. I mean, we all know that you're a really good defensive racer out there, and boy, you really put it to work out there today. You really didn't allow anybody the easy way around the racetrack today. And do you really think that attributes to the great battles that you have on the racetrack as well, just with your great defensive driving ability?
Yeah. I mean, I try and be as courteous as possible, and like obviously, if a faster driver comes up, I don't want to hold them up. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if we're racing, we're racing. I'll give you a race, no matter what.
Absolutely, and I mean, you were active today. You had some great battles all race long, and you were also involved in that early race battle there in the mid pack, where it was about 7 or 8 cars deep there for about the first 2 laps. I mean,
Yeah, that was that
how
was insane.
how do you navigate that? I mean, it's so hard to predict what every other car around you is going to do. That you just kind of got to trust to stick to your line and just trust that everybody else does the same, and just take advantage of any opportunities. I mean, how do you handle that crazy situation like that, especially right at the race start?
Well, we just get used to it because we a lot of us we all race together regular, so we get to learn what each other does, and we yeah we just I don't know how we do it, but we do it. Sometimes we're three abreast in corners.
But nonetheless, it was fantastic racing. It has been a fantastic week of racing this week, right across the board here on the Gran Turismo 7 platform. And boy, you guys continue it on here on a great Saturday evening in the UK and Saturday afternoon here in North America of racing in these Porsche Group 3 cars. So I like these cars. Big fan of the Porsche Group 3.
Yeah, I love the car. Yeah, it's a brilliant car. Love driving it. Brilliant.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that was an incredible race for you to start the season, coming out, like I said, with a big win here for your AM division this season and putting on some pressure on the pros there. So look out for Type R this season, our Pro-Am division for sure. But any final regards and I guess any thank yous and shout outs you want to toss out there?
Yeah, thanks to all the commentary team, all the admin, and all the people behind the scenes who make this work. And a big shout out to Snozza and Sarah because they couldn't make it today, so I'm missing you.
That's right. A couple of great competitors there too that have been showing great strides and improvement in their race pace and racecraft here throughout the seasons as well. So we definitely can't wait to see them come back as well. But nonetheless, big race win here for you today. So congratulations on that, and can't wait to see what you have for us in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'll try and do my best as always. I always try my best.
That's all that matters, and as long as you're having fun along the way, that's the important thing here. So
Yeah. Good, clean, fun racing. That's what I like.
absolutely. Well, great job, and maybe we'll talk to you in 2 weeks' time again at the end of the race.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you again sometime, hopefully. And good race, everybody else. Everybody else, brilliant race.
Cheers, brother. We appreciate you. All
Yeah,
right, let's move to. We don't have Pickums, and I didn't think we would have Pickums. Typically, like I said, he's got another race, usually a series that he's got to get to right away after these races. So we're going to jump to our eventual third place winner here, Key Tops. And this driver had great pace all race long in qualifying, and was really starting to put some pressure on Petrolhead right at the right time, and just had that mistake, got a little bit wide out of one of the corners there, and ended up in an unfortunate spin into the wall, but still coming back and charging hard, almost getting second place back right at the race finish, finishing only behind the bumper of Piggums in second. So crazy racing out there for you tonight. Great pace. You looked really good out there, and one mistake. So talk us through your race, my guy. That was incredible racing out there today.
Thank you very much. I honestly didn't come in with the big expectations. Definitely wasn't expecting a podium, but managed to pull through. Probably could have pulled off a first place if I made a couple of mistakes. That last one was very huge, unfortunately, but pretty much just kind of tried to keep the fuel as best I could for a bit, and then I realized if I kept it well enough, I can push hard on the mediums at the end, and it seemed like everyone kind of had the same plan right at the end there.
And Petrohead did a great job at really managing that gap all race long. He really seemed like he was in control, but boy, you seem to have an answer at the end of the race. And I mean, that mistake, I mean, what goes through your mind when you do that? You had the battle. Did you just have some dirty air factor in there a little bit, and the car just didn't react? What happened there?
I'm thinking it had to do with I was like, I couldn't believe I was behind him at that point, and then I was really antsy to get on the gas, and I couldn't see exactly how far wide I was going, but as soon as I started going wide, and I seen him kind of go wide, and I was hoping I was going to be able to save it, but once once I got back on the track, I tried correcting it, and I got too much grip, and it just took me into the wall.
Absolutely, and I mean, for the front runners at the beginning of the race, it was pretty cool, calm, and collected. You were all fairly close together, but you guys sorted out those positions really quick. Petrolhead made a big move right out the race. Baz takes that race lead from Pigham's. Pigham's playing a little bit of strategy. He settles back into the mid pack of the field there to do his first stint strategy, and then we get through our second set of pit stops, and Pigham's goes in a couple laps before you guys, and he manages to come out in between yourself and Petrolhead. So he got that undercut to work out in his favor a little bit, and you guys start having this cracking battle with about 15 minutes left to go. I mean, how was that battling? It's got three very equally paced drivers that are at the top level of their game. I mean, how do you prepare yourself to try and make an offensive battle and defensive battle kind of at the same time in that situation?
Well, it was actually pretty interesting to see that we all ended up in the exact same positions after all our strategies, but I was kind of like hoping, I seen them battling it out a little bit, and I was really hoping they were going to take each other out and give me a free win, but Pigham's made that mistake there going wide, and I took advantage of that, and he just couldn't come right back into it. And then I was pushing hard, trying to keep close to Petrol, and then I kept making a couple mistakes, but I'd start catching him, and then that big mistake just really threw it off for me. I couldn't believe I did it. I was so upset.
Nonetheless, so I mean, you make the mistake, you come back, you lose one spot essentially out of the mistake,
Yeah,
which isn't
exactly.
terribly bad, and still come back
Yeah.
for that podium finish. So I mean, overall, pretty happy with the race season start, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Finished where I started the race, so it definitely could have been way worse than it was. So.
And you do come in with the fastest lap on the racetrack there as well.
Yes.
So at the end of the race, so a little bit of a boost there. So that puts you even that much closer to second place finisher going into our next round. So I mean, nice to see you back in the series. You're a very quick driver, and looking for the championship this season.
I'm hoping to get up there. I don't expect to win it, but if I do, that's a plus for sure. If I can just stay within the top 3, that's kind of the goal, really.
Well, you definitely got the pace, and if you looked, if today is any indication of what this series is going to provide for the fans, I think we're going to have two very tight racing groups on the track at the same time, and I think we're going to have two very good races within one race each week. So, I mean, great racing out there, and I guess anything you want to add to that? Any shout-outs and thank yous?
Well, these cars, these Porsches, they definitely lead to great racing. I've been in another league before that the racing's always really good for the most part. I'd like to thank everyone for what they do. This league's actually been one of the most consistently well leagues I've ever been in, so I'm grateful for that. I'll thank the boys at Michelin for providing these beautiful tires, and yourself, thank you very much for what you do.
Hey, we appreciate you. Hey, can't forget about the tire guys, man. These cars can't go around the track without those beautiful tires, that's for sure. But great racing, great start to the season, and definitely can't wait to see what you're going to bring to the track in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you want to hear it, don't you? Our race winner, he looked good today. Our race winner really came in with a plan and executed that plan. He fought hard, he defended hard, and rewarded today with a big race win in our pro division. It's VTX Petrolhead. So great racing out there. You qualified second fastest today. You made a huge move right off the bat on Pigham's to take the lead, and you never really kind of looked back. So talk us through your day today.
Well, thank you very much. Happy with the win. I have to say, well, qualifying, to be fair, didn't actually go well. I could have gone faster from my qualifying lap. I just got stuck behind Trone on my fastest lap, on the last lap. So I got balked. But hey ho, it happens. To be honest, my strategy started off well. I was stuck to my strategy. It was going to be a medium hard, medium race. Figured that out pretty quickly. However, Pigham's pitting undercutting at that second pit stop. If I didn't pit at the next lap, he would have got me, honestly. And then towards the end, it was me just managing my tires, because compared to the wheel guys, I still get higher tire wear. So that's how the other two started catching me at the end. So it was me managing my tires. It was interesting. They kept me honest. They both kept me honest, very, very honest.
Absolutely, and I mean, as a race leader, you've had great command all race long. You've made very minimal mistakes. The pit strategy has worked out. You're still in the lead of the race. You got 15 minutes left to go, and you see Pigums and you see Keytops both just bumper to bumper on your bumper. How do you now prepare yourself to manage a 15-minute battle to the end for that race win that you've worked so hard to maintain up to that point in the race?
I basically thought, if as long as I keep them at least at minimum 7 tenths away, I can keep to my racing line and I can keep them behind me. Obviously, I made a little bit of a mistake, which is what at the start of my final stint, which I then had to be robust with passing Piggums back. I'll admit, just to keep in front, because I knew as soon as Piggums gets to the front, it's very difficult to pass him again. He's a very difficult driver to pass. So I knew I needed to stay in clean air. I needed to be in front, and I needed to control the pace where I could, basically.
And exactly what we've seen today, and going back to that, exactly, Pickham's got a great run heading into the final corner, and then you responded back going in back into the first corner to do exactly what you said. Make sure you get yourself into that clean air and just try to continue to control the pace of the race, and it was a good pace. I mean, that car had everything it needed in it today, so the crew definitely did a great job at preparing that car, and I mean the driver doing an even greater job of bringing that thing home first to the checkered flag. So, but that's some crazy racing out there. I mean, how was it with, of course, the multi-class style racing? That means we have a little bit of a group of slower drivers in the mix too. I mean, how was it with racing around our Pro-Am division here as well today?
To be fair, I didn't really encounter, apart from qualifying, I really didn't encounter any Pro-Ams. I think Trackmaster pitted before I got to him, so I never actually encountered lapping him, which worked out brilliantly. So I could keep my race pace up, to be honest. Especially around this track, lapping. If you find someone in the S's, you've ruined your race. Pretty much, it does ruin your race quite quickly. So I'm glad I had a clear run, even lapping people, honestly. And again, congratulations to Piggums and Keytops, because they kept me bloody honest. I'll give them props.
Absolutely, and a big race win, and we haven't had a chance to talk to you on the top of the podium very often at the GTRC, so a little bit of a special win here for you today.
Yeah, very special. Hope to get more this season, and hope to give Piggins and Key a run for their money with the championship. I want my first star, damn it.
Well, you're well on your way. I mean, great race start here, coming in with a big race win and some fast drivers on that racetrack. That's not to take away from every other pro out there. They're all just as quick. So, good race start, good race season, and well, you head to round 2 in 2 weeks' time as championship points leaders. So something to work on. So I guess now, does that change the way that you prepare for the rest of your races, or are you just going to continue to prepare the same way that you prepared for this week's round as well?
If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Exactly.
If
Very
it ain't
well
broke,
said.
why fix it? That's all I'm gonna say. I do want to say some thank yous to obviously Michelin again, the car guys, because to be fair, in the run up to this, I was struggling with the Porsche. I don't agree with rear engine cars typically, but they made a good car for me, and I also want to thank my sponsors, Motorsport 101. Beautiful podcast, beautiful people. Thank you for sponsoring me.
Awesome. Well, we love to hear that, and congratulations on a huge race victory. And boy, I hope we have more of these interviews moving through the season, because Petrolhead is here to fight for a championship this season, folks. And if you want to see if Petrolhead can repeat his performance here from round 1 and round 2, 2 weeks' time at 3 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the GTRC YouTube and GT45 Gaming channels, brought to you in family-friendly version. We appreciate you. Congratulations on a massive win. Anything you want to add, and of course any final shout-outs there before we head out here for this evening?
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. Just be nice.
Very well said, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from Petrolhead. It's not hard to be nice. It costs nothing to be nice. Just be nice. We appreciate you, my guy. Congratulations on a big win, and can't wait to see you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you. Bye. See you in 2 weeks.
All right, gave out race winner a little double thank you promise there, and you know what, that was good because he's right. Great representative out there too, Petrolhead. So we love to see the success for people that do good things out there within their communities, and he is definitely one of those guys. He has a lot of some big, huge support group in behind him as well, and I bet you they're going to be excited about this race win here today. So all in all, let's recap this race, folks. I mean, wow. I'm impressed. First race of the season. Everybody's got to get familiar with each other. Very difficult racetrack. Again, a very unfamiliar layout of a racetrack. We don't typically see this track in league style racing. And I got to tell you, all 14 of our drivers entered into this race here today did a phenomenal job at racing. Textbook. The passes, the moves, the battles, the pit strategies, the blue flag traffic, every part of this race here in Japan at Kyoto Driving Park Yamagiwa+Myabi course today was textbook. Absolutely beautiful race, great action all race long. That back paddle at the beginning of the race was beautiful, and the battle for the race win at the end, just as nice and beautiful. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for the likes, the shares, and the comments, whether you're here at the GTRC YouTube or the GT45 Gaming channels, wherever it is that you're viewing from. We appreciate you all. You all matter. You all matter. The doors are always open. Don't be scared to reach out and talk. We're all one big family here. We just want to help each other thrive and succeed in life. That's what it's all about. And we have a little bit of fun in the meantime, doing some great racing on the racetrack as well. We'll be back next weekend, next Saturday here from the Gran Turismo Racing community. We're going to be here with the Mini Series Round 1. And now I'm going to tell you what it is. We're going to be busting out the Mini Coopers, ladies and gentlemen. There's some tuning. There's some fun stuff involved with this series. I believe we're doing some championship brake biases or some ballasts and stuff like that as well. I'm not 100% sure. I'll get locked in before next weekend so I can bring all the great action and information that you need to know to set up our Mini Cooper Championship mini series here coming up next weekend, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, GTRC YouTube and GT45 Gaming channels. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you all next time.